Welcome back to the Root to Rise podcast. I'm your host, Joe, and today I will be interviewing Shaneece. She was a part of the first cohort in 2017, and she will be sharing her experience with Root to Rise. I want to thank you, Shaneece, for coming to do the interview with me today. So, first things first, I just want to ask you, where were you born, and what schools did you attend as a student? Meaning like elementary, middle, and high school.
So born and raised in Madison, Wisconsin. Did elementary both at Midville, and then I actually went to Lincoln when the open classroom still existed. So I got
Okay.
to like move up with my brother.
Nice.
Then went to Cherokee and then West High School.
Okay. Okay. So what sparked your interest to become a tutor mentor? When the program was presented to you, like how did you feel about joining Root to Rise?
I was motivated by the fact that my schedule could be shortened senior year, but also that we had got paid for doing it as well. So I would say that's what immediately sparked interest in it, and it was just something I had curiosity about as well as like working with youth. So it wasn't. I was open to the process more so than like motivated to do it because of that.
Okay. What grade did you work with when you went to the elementary school?
I was with second grade. Um, second Yeah, I was with second graders, and then I also worked with a club there, the Black History Club,
Okay.
and I worked with a larger range of students, so the entire range when that
That's
was happening. We were doing
that
that.
sparks my next question. You working with a larger range of students. How did you how did you adjust to that? Challenges?
There was a lot of challenges for sure. I would say not like direct conflict based, but just understanding like they're at different emotional capacities, mental capacities, educational capacities, stuff like that. So also trying to figure out how to make them or like assist with them coexisting in the same space. So I would say just getting to know them where they're at brain wise, think wise,
Definitely.
yeah.
Okay. And how was like the relationship with you and the teacher that you were assisting?
It was great. The teacher I worked with, I actually went to school there, so she was still there as a teacher when I went there. I never
Nice.
actually had her because of the time I went to Lincoln,
Okay.
but I did get to work with her as an adult, so that was super cool.
Nice. So a familiar face. That's pretty cool. Can you share like some like positives or some like just like a situation you can think back on when you were doing your time with Root to Rise and it was something that stuck out to you, like something that a student did or something that a student said. Like it could be anything, like as far
Yeah,
as you helping them with work.
yeah. Um, I would say the thing that stuck out the most was how sweet they are, honestly. Like, they're very sweet, at least at that age. I
Right.
don't know about the other ones, but they're very sweet, kind. I feel like they were very kind to themselves, which I feel like is a new type of trend or thing, is just for them to even do like their own affirmations for themselves,
Definitely.
repeating those to other people too. So I would say like that's what I noticed is them just saying they're smart or saying they're beautiful, stuff like that. That
For
was
sure.
super motivating to me to see.
Okay, okay, and that's second grade now.
Yeah.
So, after you graduated the program, like what was life like for you?
Honestly, so I was trying school. I tried 3 times to go back to school, which was very difficult to get like acclimated to that process of just getting into college. So that was really difficult, and I mostly got a lot of my experience just working in spaces,
Mm-hmm.
whoever I could know, or whatever experience I have, training, etc., that can get me into that space. So I feel like I
Definitely.
spent a lot of time. Trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So I was in customer service. I was in like direct work, and then at some point I started being like completely involved in youth work, and I would say that's when I became a special ed paraprofessional in Oregon.
Nice.
That was 2019.
Okay, okay. I got a small connection to make. I also felt like when I graduated, I was focused on doing things that people felt like I should do. Like, oh, you should be an accountant.
Right.
No, you should go work over here. No, you should actually do this. You would be really good doing this. I'm listening to all of that. And then I find myself just jumping into something that I didn't necessarily
Feel
think
passionate
through
about,
and
right.
feel passionate about, right? But then I dip back into my tool bag of what I did with Root to Rise, and here you know what it is. I'm an SEA,
Right.
you know. So like I just had to share that connection like that. That warmed my heart hearing that.
Absolutely.
So like in your own words, how does it feel to be alumni of the program?
It feels great. I just watch newsletters come through. I see more in media. My little cousin, she was like I think a youth at the time, but now she's graduating this year from West. So
Wow, that's great.
yeah, it's like to think about when she first started as a youth and now she's like graduating out. It's just nice to see like the program's evolution. I feel really proud to have been like associated or involved with the way it's changing.
Nice, nice. I appreciate that. So what is your passion? Like, you talked about being transitioning into the paraprofessional. So, like, is that more so of your passion now that you found?
No.
Not necessarily.
No. So I mean, I did it. I feel like I just I tried different things. So I taught as an assistant teacher at One City too at some point. I was a MSCR site director for middle school programming. So I've done a little bit of everything to try to figure out, do I want to be like involved in direct education? Do I want to do more like fun-based, social, emotional aspects of it? I'm currently a youth advocate in the restorative justice program at Briarpatch. So like my job.
I'm gonna clap it up for you. I'm a part of restorative justice in my
Yeah.
district too. So
Thank you. Okay,
continue.
cool.
Yes.
Yes. It's very incredible, impactful work to do. So I'm doing that with youth involved in the system right now. And I had a strong passion for sure, as you know, in like protest activism, like while I was in high school. So it's cool now that I get to use my passion then, trying to keep youth out of the system, funneling them to resources and support that they need to get what they need, do what they need to do, and also kind of like the love for having direct connections with them too. So I feel like I get to do both of those things in my current position.
That's great work, Shaneece.
Thank you.
Real talk, because this generation right now lacks guidance. I say this in almost every podcast video, and it's the truth. And the work that you're doing, you paying it forward.
Appreciate
So
it.
shout out to you, Shaneece.
You as well. You as
Most
well.
definitely. What is one thing that you're proud of accomplishing at this point in your life? Just one thing.
I feel like this is kind of philosophical,
Mm-hmm.
but just being open to change. I feel like it's hard to let things go when you get comfortable, and when you're open to change, you are also open to like new opportunities, something better, something that's more suited or fitting for you. So I feel like
Yes.
kind of transitioning as an adult, I would be in my feelings about like not getting into something, not getting into school, not getting the job I wanted, having to leave the job I wanted to, but not being open as well to like the possibilities of it, my life being greater or greater things coming from it or new experiences. So I would say that is, I think, answer. I don't know if it was like a
does.
lesson or something, but yeah, I would say that's my perspective on
Okay.
that question.
Most definitely. This is kind of like a bonus to that question. What's one of the what is the biggest lesson you learned becoming a young adult? Like graduating high school, getting into this adult field. What's one lesson you can say you learned and just like helped you like keep moving forward?
Um, I would say that my experience doesn't have to look like someone else's. It's a lot of pressure to do things a certain way, like when you come out of high school.
Yes.
And I feel like I appreciate and value like the differences in knowing like I didn't take a traditional path, but somehow I felt like my non-traditional path was like easier. Like it didn't feel as hard or difficult to get acclimated with it. So I would say, yeah, just that I don't need to be so hard on myself for doing things differently.
For sure. Somebody that's gonna be listening, that's gonna touch their heart
I hope
because
so.
no, I promise you it will because it touched mine and like it was really hard to come out of high school and just like actually like lock in on something. You
Yeah.
know, it's a lot of people that we graduated with that just knew exactly what they wanted to do and that played a part in me like kind of like not wanting to go to college but then also wanting to just jump in and just go take care of it. Do my best, just do what I can do. So I appreciate you answering that question like that. And definitely it's gonna reach some people.
I hope so, because, yeah, I feel the same way. A lot of pressures to do stuff. Felt like it was pressure. It was the idea, like, feeling like you got to compete with the people around you. Like, you got to stay with them, whether that's, like, you a credit behind or whatever.
Right.
Like, it's just a constant, like, competition. So I definitely am grateful that I just stop resisting and let myself flow with what just felt more comfortable, felt better suited for me. And as you are, as I stand, like we are products of a non-traditional route or path, and like it exists and it's possible.
Straight up. Do you feel like there's anything that was holding you back at a certain point, like succeeding a certain goal that you were trying to accomplish?
Um, I would say probably just negative self-talk. I will say as a youth worker, that doesn't come from anywhere. Negative self-talk comes from like having a love or positive on the other end of that comes from like having a loving, supporting group of people around you, like funneling into you, speaking love on you, speaking life into you. So I feel like for me, it was just getting out of my head or like struggling to get out of my head and like just thinking negative things about myself or my potential, things like that. I would say was like a difficulty or obstacle to overcome with that.
Definitely. I second that. It's really hard not having that support to where just to uplift your confidence.
Yeah.
And that's a good role that tutor mentors play going into these elementary schools because it's a lot of elementary students that's dealing with exactly what you just said. And it's so hard getting over that hump. Like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I don't know. um, I don't know. I don't. Hopefully just embodying the energy of flow, being open to change still. I don't have anything definitive I can think of. Just still being stable. If that comes with a job transition, so be it. I'm open to it. If it comes with a job promotion, so be it. I'm open to it.
For sure.
But
I should have reworded that. I'm sorry.
it was a good question.
Where
That's
you
me,
going, see?
because I'm
Okay.
no, that's a me thing. I think other people probably would have just been able to answer it simple, but I'm like, I don't know. Anytime people ask me that question, I'm like, I just don't know. I'm a mom, so definitely being a mom. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about that. Would you like to?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So how old is your kid?
She's one.
Girl?
She's
Okay.
a girl. Yep. She's turning 2 in May.
Okay. That's what's up. When you were having when you were planning and waiting for your daughter's arrival, what was your support system like?
I feel like it was pretty good. It felt honestly like a lonely experience. It just felt kind of isolated. Like you just don't know what it's like until you are in that position. I felt like,
That's
and I
right.
would look at other people or peers and stuff, and I would just maybe like make judgments or pass judgments on them. And then I was in that position. I'm like, wow, like this is tough. Like all the changes that are going on or about to happen. But my support system was okay. I felt really supported actually by my job.
That's good.
They like came together to put like PT because I went into labor like the night after work or something.
Okay.
So like they had like put PTO together for me, and that was
That's
pretty
what's
cool.
up.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna jump down memory lane. Back in 2019 is when I had my daughter, and me having my daughter put me like I had to make a choice. I was at college, and I felt like if I was going to continue going to college, I needed support. I didn't have support, so I made the decision to come back home, and I just got to work. And that was a hard part of my life, but also like one of the biggest blessings I received,
Absolutely.
because after having her, it's like now I understand like kind of what I want to do. I know I don't want to work in no warehouse. I know I don't want to work in fast food. What do you want to do? Me again talking about dipping into the tool bag of what I accomplished with Root to Rise. It made it easy for me to say, I'm gonna jump in education. So I just definitely wanted to share my experience as well. The support was somewhat there, but at the same token, I knew that I needed to be an adult and a young man and do for myself. So thanks for touching on that. Our kids is our everything.
They are. And I always say I feel like I had a child at the like best version or as the best version of myself. Like the training, being, trauma informed, thinking about that, the impact of social emotional health, creating a safe, loving environment, all of that. I feel like I don't know if I could have like avoided or been as like conscious or intentional about how I'm being harmful or helpful towards my girls. So I'm definitely happy that I learned or got like trainings and stuff under my belt to be like a good, effective provider for her.
Definitely. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Are you what activities are taking up your time right now?
Honestly, being a mom for sure. Working. I'm also on a few community advisory boards, so that's cool. One of them is community advising for research design strategy. So basically, in that advisory group, we just look at things from the UW actually that researchers bring to us that are like advertising material, some type of research they want to do or share, stuff like that. We'll like look at it, analyze the material. Is this inclusive? Easy to read, easy to understand, things like that. And then I just joined another one that is with like farm techs and physicians, and I'm like present as a patient perspective or standpoint. So
Okay, you busy.
I am.
Busy woman.
Yeah.
How does that make you like not how does it make you feel, but like what kind of headspace do it put you in? Just joining the different groups and just having a nice long agenda.
Um,
How do you basically what I'm saying is how do you fluctuate that?
I don't know.
Just do it, huh?
I just do it. Yeah. I think it works for me because I make it work for me. Like
Okay.
it fits into my schedule purposefully and intentionally. So there are other like opportunities and stuff like I could do, but I'm just prioritizing, I guess, and those just fit into spaces that I have room in to be able to juggle it. So it doesn't feel like overwhelming or anything. In those spaces themselves, though, it feels very empowering. To be surrounded by also like-minded people, to be a active contributor to like change or evolution. So
Yes.
I like to be. It feels good to know that like I'm a pillar in that, I guess.
Definitely. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So moving forward, what would you like to see Root to Rise? What are your hopes for the program? Like, what do you hope for the program in like the upcoming years? You talked about like you seeing the stuff on the media about Root to Rise. Just like, what do you think Root to Rise will be?
Um, what I hope for sure, it's growing year by year, is just to continue to expand, continue to get into spaces that it's not in, being impactful in the spaces that it's currently in. Would love to see more media exposure for sure too. So like I said, I'm on an email list, so I get emails and stuff, but seeing more of it actively as a thing existing in our community. I would say this is like sidebar, but I would say like the youth mentors that are like present in the program would be like great as like peacemakers in like RJ circles,
Yes.
given like their ability to motivate, to bring a different perspective, things like that. So would love to see like just more networking, collaboration too for the youth involved.
Most definitely. I do too. It's moving. It's
Yeah, it's
elevating.
moving. I'm proud. I'll be looking back at it like, wow.
Most definitely.
Wow, yeah.
So right now Root to Rise is working its way back into the MMSD district. Were you aware that we weren't in the MMSD district?
Um, no. I knew that y'all were like in other districts, but not that you were actively not in MMSD.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's something that we definitely aiming towards this summer, maybe after the summer. It's definitely it's a work in progress. My that I was going to ask like say for example we didn't get into MMSD. How do you feel like that would impact our community?
I would say significantly, considering the impact it had on me in a positive way. Is like I went to school, MMSD, tutor mentored MMSD. So the fact that it had such like a positive impact on me can also show, I guess, like the impact that it can miss on other people. Um, as you said earlier, like role model peer relationships are super important. Positive figures in youth's life is super important right now. So I think it'll have definitely a huge impact, probably and a more harmful impact to not be present. Whereas it can have a counter impact of being more impactful. Just, yeah, connecting youth, building community, stuff like that, that if present, it could do. It could do a lot more than I would say. If as being present in specifically MMSD than to not be there.
Definitely. I appreciate you touching on that because just being a coordinator of the group and going to different districts, it just kind of hits home to not be able to keep moving forward in the district that we started in, and just trying to get the word out, just to let that the youth and the teens and also the teachers are missing out on an opportunity, and we're not really sure why, but this is definitely something that should be back into the school district. So I appreciate you touching on that topic. So, is there any advice that you would give to any uplifting advice that you would give to either a tutor mentor that's just about to start the program or just a bystander that doesn't even really know much about the program and what the program brings?
Um, to a tutor, I guess to a tutor mentor, the tutor in the situation, advice is just to be self-aware, be self-conscious, realize how big of an impact they do have. I remember I would miss like a day of program and like they'd be like, where were you? Oh my God, like
Yeah,
freaking out, asking all day about me, where I've been at. So knowing that like little brains or minds are like looking at you as a figure of someone that is I guess, like important to them, or someone that they want to follow behind, look after. So being aware of your actions. Are you being helpful or harmful to yourself, to your community, etc.? Like being conscious of that.
That's great advice.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Being making sure, yeah, you're aware that like little minds are looking at you, or like eyes are on you with the youth. I would say for a bystander, I would say from two's perspectives, if there's like, I think a bystander that would know what it's like to have a close relationship with a mentor and realize like the importance of that. And then there's another bystander who was robbed or deprived of that experience, and realizing like if you felt like you could have that connection with someone, how do you feel like your life could have been positively impacted? So that's what I would say,
Hello.
I guess.
All right. Thank you, Shaneece, for coming on the Root to Rise podcast. I really appreciate you sharing your experience and your uplifting advice for the youth. Shaneece and I was part of the first Root to Rise cohort in 2017. So this was definitely one of those moments where we got to chop it up and just reminisce on the times we had in our Root to Rise experience. Again, I'm your host, Joe. This is Shaneece. Thank you for coming to interview with me.
Thank you. Thanks for
All right.
having me.